The truth is, we need to be loved with truth, and we don't need to be loved with what's politically expedient. Every people has had a crisis, every people has had a disaster, but not every people camp there, and not every people creates their identity around that. So as a Palestinian, I have dreams and I have hopes, I have desires that the outside world seems to kind of try to strip away because of that label as Palestinian.
I've had an extreme interest in the Middle East since I graduated high school and had the opportunity to go to Yemen and teach English for a summer. And the experience was incredible, and I learned so much that made me want to go back and really give back to the people in the region. So I looked for another opportunity. A couple years later, I found out about a chance to go over with an NGO to Bethlehem. I realized very quickly the entire conversation was really solely about all the ways that Israel was really bad or mean or to blame for anything going wrong there. I was barely off the plane before that was the entire conversation. And I started getting a little bit more confused and slightly frustrated because I realized our schedule had very little volunteer work in it when they had advertised that that was one of the main reasons we were coming over. There was a main point to every session that we were in. And that main point was that Israel was to blame for everything that was wrong or difficult.
Why is the Palestinian Authority giving $5 million a month to families of terrorists? Do you know what I could do with $5 million a month? So they'll name streets after people who have killed themselves. They'll give money to the suicide families. Why? Because they want to stay in power. We need to stop acting like all these people who support terrorism are leaders and diplomats. They're not. They are making money off of the Palestinians. Because they know the UN is throwing all this money, every country is throwing money to the Palestinians, and you get to the streets and the streets are broken, the schools are... Where is the money? And the irony of this whole thing is all of the people who say they're for Palestinians are actually exploiting Palestinians. In fact, for the people who are anti-Israel, you're actually also harming the Palestinians because it's all a complicated web. The BDS situation, you're actually hurting the Palestinians because the Palestinians are employed by the Israelis. And if you're not willing to criticize the terrorists who are sending the people into a failing battle, then you're part of the issue too. I appreciate the support for the Palestinians, but what you're actually doing is you're enabling terrorism.
One of the meetings while we were there that I got to sit in on and observe was a pitch from a major public relations company in Dubai, and they were basically pitching the leaders of the Bethlehem community on a rebranding initiative to bring in more tourism to the city of Bethlehem. And the pitch was incredible, and I was so excited about what this could possibly mean for the city of Bethlehem and for everyone that lives there, especially that thrives off of international tourism. The very next day, our guest speaker was from the PLO. I raised my hand and asked about the rebranding initiative, and I said, hey, I've heard about this initiative. What are your thoughts? What's going to happen with that? Isn't that exciting? And asked for his feedback. And immediately his response to me was, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Yeah. And he was ready to move on to the next question and just totally brushed me off. He responded that if this initiative were to succeed, that it would make Israel look good, and he couldn't allow that to happen.
I would say to every young, hopeful Palestinian that you are not crazy, you are not alone, you are actually one of millions of us who are not happy with the status quo. We don't want the label refugee. We don't want the wars of our fathers. We just want to be given a chance. And me and you are worth that chance. And you have to commit to being different from what society says. And when they try to brainwash you, and when they try to tell you what to believe, it's not their responsibility. It's yours to make up your own decision and make up your own opinion. And that's what I would encourage every Palestinian to do, is have the guts to be different.